So I'm like a YouTube user, right? It makes me sound like I'm 85, but whatever. What else am I gonna call it? I'm on YouTube a lot, okay? And one of my favorite things to watch are video essays or general analysis videos on movies and TV. I actually like them enough to take a look at them and say, yeah, you know, I could probably do that. No, you can't, idiot. But you know, I'm gonna try it anyways. One of the shows that made me want to start this channel is actually Harley Quinn, because I noticed a real lack of coverage and discussion on the show despite it being so well received. A lot of people don't even know this show exists, especially if you don't have HBO Max, which means literally everyone in Canada among others. Everyone who I talk to about this show just goes, huh? There's a Harley Quinn show? Wait, is it starring Margot Robbie? Because I'll watch that. Oh, it's not? Oh, it's animated? Well, is she still hot though? Listen, I know I'm not exactly gonna blow the show up and introduce it to thousands of people. My current viewership barely reaches the number of letters in the show's title, but look, I still want to talk about it. And if you're stumbling onto this video and it does convince 1 or 2 people to watch the show, hey, that's a dub in my book. So I guess let's get it started. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Superhero stuff is inherently goofy. I'm not saying you can't have dramatic moments in these movies or that they can't be serious, but like at a base level, it's men and women in tights fighting aliens or deformed monsters or evil versions of themselves. And this is coming from like a big superhero movie guy. Arguably my 2 favorite movies of all time are superhero movies. I'm not bashing them at all, but we can agree that some of the foundations here are goofy. Like that scene with Star-Lord getting mad at Thanos is dramatic and important and you take it seriously, but it is a dude pistol whipping a giant purple alien with an insect lady on his shoulders making him sleep because he threw his green alien daughter and lover of human guy off a cliff as an insect man tries to pull off his magic metal glove that's filled with super space rocks. None of that makes this scene bad, but when somebody frames it like that, it does kind of make it easy to laugh at. That's also why as superheroes have started hitting the mainstream and individual content creation has also blown up concurrently, we've gotten tons of parodies and spoofs on Batman taking himself too seriously, or Superman being a real goody two-shoes, or the ideas that supervillains just kind of hang out and chill and discuss their evil plans at like a bar or something. As much as we love the big movies that take themselves seriously to a degree, we also love poking a little fun at the world and ideas, and we've gotten to the point that that kind of parody is sometimes released officially by big companies making full movies. We got Deadpool. It also looks like James Gunn's Suicide Squad is falling into that almost spoofy category, but Harley Quinn I feel is the best example we've seen of something like How It Should Have Ended or college humor, I guess, as an actual full movie or TV show. You know how she has those scenes where all the supervillains are talking about their nefarious plots and it turns them all into real goofball versions of themselves that aren't menacing at all? Yeah, Harley Quinn does the exact same thing. Specifically, Bane's character feels like this. Bane is often this hulking titan of a man, a physical beast for Batman to deal with. That's in the comics, the movies, the games, but here they take him and show him in a lot of day-to-day life of a villain scenarios, and they kind of spoof the fact that Bane seems to have a single response to anything, which is blow something up, and instead of making it scary or terrifying, instead act like it's just because he's a man-child who can't stand getting a question wrong.
Incorrect. The Steelers have won the most games at Gotham Stadium.
I'm gonna blow up Gotham Stadium.
Can't deal with a tiny inconvenience.
I will blow you up, you chicken satay.
And can't handle Todd writing bang instead of Bane on his smoothie.
Oh, hey, Shark Guy, did we kill Todd?
Todd doesn't work Wednesday.
Oh, they must have changed the schedule.
Plus, the show also just likes asking the question, hey, so, like, what does Bane do in his free time?
Is your card the 3 of Hearts?
No.
Fuck.
And to be clear, Bane is a minor side character here. There are dozens and dozens of clips in just the first 2 seasons of him alone being an absolute riot, and he's not even one of the biggest characters. The show actually has 2 more purely comic relief characters in Frank the Plant and my favorite character of the whole show, Kite Man. And I genuinely can't remember the last time I saw a show or movie where a comic relief character was actually consistently funny, much less 3 of them. Kite Man is literally this absolute absolute D-list villain whose power is the fact that he has a kite on his back, which half the time seems more like a burden than anything, but he'll still act like he's on the same level as everyone else, and he has this kind of Kronk from Emperor's New Groove vibe to him, and I would honestly say that he might be written just as well as Kronk, and that movie is a goddamn comedic classic, dude. It's not just the characters and the one-liners and stuff that are funny though, sometimes it's the quick one-off random mini stories like this henchman talking about trying to reconnect with his kid and then 1 second later.
Oh, what'd that do?
I don't know.
Oh no, Carl! I'm so sorry. It's a cancer ray! Harley Quinn, you gave me cancer?
Or the fact that early on in the show, Dr. Psycho calls Wonder Woman the C word and everyone's so shocked, and the Legion of Doom, like people who have mass murdered and tortured other people, come out with a public statement where Lex Luthor talks about how Psycho's actions don't reflect their values, and homie gets straight up canceled. Like, god damn it, dude, this show is so funny. Everyone's swearing, menacing becomes ridiculous, villains are turned into cornballs. Harley Quinn is one of the funniest shows I've seen because it's one of the most accurate depictions of internet-style humor that I've ever seen on a full-scale production. What it's helped by even more is its overall writing. Not only is the show consistently funny, but they also develop interesting dynamics and characters and relationships, and all of those are written really well. Not to mention, they're acted really great as well. You have all of these funky animated voices that you'd expect, but you also have great performances from people like Lake Bell as Poison Ivy, who is just a great character because of how much her personality and reasoning clashes with basically every other character in the show, and a really awesome performance by Kaylee Kuko of The Big Bang Theory fame. I've only watched like a couple of seasons of that show because I found it super boring, so I don't know how good of an actress she is in that, but here she gives Harley a great manic energy, and even though occasionally she goes in and out of a few slightly different sounding versions of Harley's voice that we've seen through the years, she still always sounds like she's giving it her all, and her erratic mix of talking and screaming is, I feel, exactly where it needs to be with this version of the character. I was surprised with how invested I got in Harley's season 1 arc and how bad I felt in season 2 for a certain character that I'm not going to mention that got screwed over, even though I was kind of slightly rooting for the outcome that did happen. Like, somehow this show made me feel conflicted about what I wanted for the characters, and for a show that on the surface seems like stupid random fun, that's pretty impressive. I will say that I think season 1 was stronger overall just because season 2 almost started following like a classic sitcom structure with a little super powered side dish. Like, the first season follows the same formula as you'd see from animated shows like Ben 10 and Invincible, where there's an overall arc, but individual episodes can be entirely isolated and feature a fun new threat or different location, like how they explore Harley's mind in one of the earlier episodes. But season 2 really lowers the stakes, the overall objective is more unclear, and the individual episodes don't feature places or stories that are as fun. But season 2 is definitely still as funny and just as occasionally random, and I'd say it's solid overall. But my hope for season 3 is that they could just give the characters more of an overall purpose instead of their stories being heavily reliant on just their personal relationships. Either way, both seasons are definitely worth a watch, and I hope this inspires more similar shows. It already seems to have somewhat inspired Marvel's MODOK, which should be out by the time this video comes out, and I just want to see more stupid stuff from the superhero world because it's absolutely ripe with it if you're looking, and clearly it can result in some highly entertaining end products if done right. Anyways, that's kind of my mini analysis slash recommendation slash whatever you want to call it about Harley Quinn. I urge you to check out the show if you can. Also, subscribe to the channel because it's just getting started, so if you want more TV and movie related content, hitting the sub and the bell would be super appreciated, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye, I guess.